Hi Dollar Divas, welcome to Behind the Vanity. I'm Jessica. So today is Makeup and Celebrity Sunday, and I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and so I'm so excited to be filming this today for you. So we're of course gonna get this makeup look, and I can't say it wasn't inspired by some people. First of all, the hair. I watched a video by Miss Peyton Rose here on YouTube. I will have her link down below, and she was wearing a similar style that were higher, and I was actually thinking of doing this too, and I watched a video by her this morning, actually a Dollar Tree haul. But I was like, oh my gosh, you're in my head. I was like, I just wanted a different way of like wearing my hair up, because I always wear my hair up. And so I thought it was cute, and I'd seen that she did it, so I was like, okay, it's like socially acceptable. So anyways, so there is that. But so I've been seeing a lot of purple and green eye makeup lately, and so I know we love purple eyeshadow. I know we love green eyeshadow. I figured we should just put them together a whole lot more often. So today's Makeup and Celebrity Sunday is about 3 celebrities that were tragically killed by their fans. Of course, we know I'm a huge Selena fan, and she is not in this list because I have talked about her before in a couple of previous Makeup and Celebrity Sunday videos. So we won't be talking about her today. I do have 3 completely new and different celebrities we will be talking about. So a little bit of a morbid topic, but you know, we've got to do this every now and again, especially when you're talking about celebrities, because you know things happen. So it's a good change of pace every now and again. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I do hope that you will stick around, stick with me, subscribe, and become what I like to call one of my Dollar Divas. I love to do a lot of Dollar Tree makeup and haul oriented content, as well as my Makeup and Celebrity Sunday series, where I pretty much apply makeup and talk about anything celebrity, movie, TV, pop culture oriented, and we just have fun. So if that sounds good to you, you are definitely in the right place. Of course, if you're returning, thank you so much for returning. So yeah, we're just gonna be using some makeup, some stuff that I haven't used in a while. I've got a couple new products that I'm trying out today, and just some things that I've forgotten about. And like I said, I really did want to do like a green and purple eye makeup look. So anyways, if you want to see how I got this look and chit chat about some celebrity stuff, definitely keep on watching. So as always, I'm going to start with my eyebrows, and I'm just going to go in with my LA Colors Brow Cream Gel. This is in deep brown. So I'm going to try to do better selecting some music. I usually use the same, just very light background music, but I was kind of notified by a Dollar Diva last time I did a little bit more of a morbid topic for my Makeup and Celebrity Sunday, that the music didn't really fit, and I didn't even think about it because I'm not used to kind of morbid things. But you know, it's a nice, you know, sometimes it's a nice change of pace, and when you're talking about celebrities and television and all that kind of stuff, you know, it does go there at some point. So I don't know what kind of music will be in the background as I'm talking, but I will try to pick something a little bit more somber, maybe something a little bit creepy. I don't know. So to clean up my brows today, I'm going to go into this Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. I've had this for quite some time, and I think I bought mine at CVS, but I think lately you've been able to sometimes find these at the Dollar Tree. So if you're interested in this, definitely keep an eye out. I'm just kind of wanting to use some different products today. I have some stuff that's new, but some stuff that I just haven't used in a while, and so there's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to today's makeup selection, other than the fact that I do want a purple and green look, and there's a couple things I'm wanting to try out. I've not used one of these like brow highlighting pencils in a while, pretty much ever since I've started using concealer to clean up my brows. I'm kind of doing it today because I'm kind of wanting a dramatic look with the makeup look today. I usually just like to blend out with my finger, and I'm kind of having to go back in and touch up my brows a bit. Okay, I'm going to use 2 palettes today, and I'm going to use one that I have not used in a minute, and I love this palette. I really have been missing it, and it's my e.l.f. J. Kissa Collab palette. If you don't remember this, it is that beautiful rainbow palette, and I've just been really kind of missing this lately, so I'm going to pull my purples and my greens out of this, and then I am also going to use my companion palette for a little, like a lighter green, just to maybe add a pop in the inner corner, something like that. So we're gonna dig into this. But first, all over my eyelid, I just want like a white eyeshadow shade, so I'm just gonna go into this LA Colors 6 pan eyeshadow palette. This is in Lucky, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here. So of course, I've done a couple of videos involving Selena. We are watching the second part of her Netflix series. We are behind. I wanted my husband to watch the first part because I had watched it by myself. So I thought he would kind of enjoy it. So we are on like episode, I think 2, or we just finished episode 2 of the Selena series. So of course she is probably one of the most famous celebrities that has been killed by one of her fans. And I've done an entire video kind of dedicated to her, which I will have linked down below, as well as my entire makeup and celebrity playlist. So we will not be talking about her today, although she is one of the most famous ones. Just kind of wanted to lay down like a base for that. So the first shade I'm going to go into is Sadie. It's kind of this brighter purple. And I'm just going to kind of put that all over up into the crease. So Rebecca Schaefer was murdered at the age of just 21 at her own home. And it was July 18th, which I guess we're about to the anniversary of that. And the year was 1989. And if you don't know who she is, she was an actress and model in the 80s. And of course she was super young. So she was just kind of just starting before she was killed so tragically. A couple things she did, kind of some of her earlier stuff, was she starred in the soap operas Guiding Light and One Life to Live. Now she was 5 feet 7 inches tall, and she wanted to be a model, but at that height, unfortunately, you're too short, and her body proportions just weren't right for like high fashion modeling, you know, as many of us, you know. And that's what she really, really wanted to do, but of course it was such a struggle. So at this point she kind of set her sights on acting. So she was actually cast in a Woody Allen film called Radio Days. But unfortunately when the movie was done and it went into theaters, her scene was ultimately cut from the movie. Not because of anything she did wrong necessarily, that just happens. They just don't use all the footage that they film sometimes in movies. So I'm gonna go now into that darker shade right there called Pretty Girl with kind of a more compact brush. And I'm going to kind of focus this. I think I'm going to kind of put this at least on the outer corner. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do like my traditional smoky eye where I do the inner half with a shimmer of green and all that good stuff, just because it's kind of what I know, what I like, and I'm wanting this to be a success. So I'm just going to kind of smoke it out with this dark purple. So she was also cast in the show called My Sister Sam. And initially, the first season, like when it first started, it was a pretty big hit. But halfway through the second season, it got canceled, unfortunately. After that, she ended up with some supporting roles in some movies, and she became a spokesperson for a children's charity called Thursday's Child. So Robert John Bardot was 19 years old. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go into the green, and of course I am gonna go into this shimmer shade here, Reagan. And I'm gonna take that on a flat brush as we do and spray it and just hope that it just goes on awesome. I'm gonna try to use up the last little bit of this LA Colors setting spray. There's just a tiny bit left, and then I will move on to one of my Urban Decay all-nighters. And I'm just gonna kind of put this on the inside. Oh yeah, that's going on nice. I really love the shimmers in this palette. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. Now that I'm wearing it, like the pigtails and the green and purple, I think I saw this kind of on a similar look on my friend Rupy Minhas here on YouTube. I think I saw this something like this on her Instagram. So I guess it's just been kind of in my soul lately to do something like this. So now apparently this Robert John Bardot has had a history of just obsession, like being obsessed with stars. He was once obsessed with this, I guess she was like a child peace activist, a girl named Samantha Smith. But apparently in 1985, she was killed in a plane crash. So after that, he started writing letters to Rebecca. I think to kind of blend this, I'm gonna actually go into the shimmery purple called Confetti. And apparently, when he wrote, one time when he wrote a letter, she actually responded. At some point, he was turned away by security. He had gone to like the set of her show, My Sister Sam, and he was turned away by security. Well, about a month later, he returned. And when he returned with a knife. And apparently he was turned away, and for a period of time he stopped focusing on Rebecca, and he actually became like obsessed with a couple of other stars that were big at this time, such as Debbie Gibson, Madonna, and Tiffany Darmish, or I guess the Tiffany. So he kind of shifted focus for a little while, but it didn't take him long to come back to Rebecca. So apparently he saw a scene that she did in a movie with another actor in which they were in bed together, and he became enraged. Okay, so I'm gonna concentrate some more of that dark purple, that pretty girl shade on the outside, just a little bit more. So now he was really getting serious. So after some investigating, he kind of found out where she lived, and he went to her neighborhood and started asking her neighbors if she did in fact live in the neighborhood. I guess they all confirmed that she did. So I'm gonna put on some mascara just to kind of give my lashes something to kind of hold on to. I don't usually go crazy with this, just a little bit. I ain't got much anyway. I'm gonna add some of this LA Colors eye marker. Of course, this is in black, and I'm gonna add a bit of a wing. And these are some Ionis, and I don't remember exactly which variety they are, because I always end up, I've tried to, when I think of it, write it on the clear packaging, but I did not with these, but they're pretty simple. And I have worn them before, so they are loved. So at this point, Robert knew where Rebecca lived and had bought a gun. So Rebecca was actually waiting for a script from The Godfather Part 3. So she was waiting for the script so she could audition for this movie. So she was super excited. The doorbell rang and it was Robert. And apparently this is the only reason she opened the door to someone she didn't know, is because she was waiting for this script. So when she answered the door, he was standing there, and he was standing there with a picture and a letter that she had sent him a while back. And they had a short conversation, and upon him leaving, she asked him, and I don't know whether it was kindly or not, but she asked him never to come back to her apartment again. So he left and went to go eat at like a local diner. So after some time, he came back, she opened the door again, and coldly looked at him, and he shot her in the chest. She was pronounced dead 30 minutes later at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Marcia Clark from the famous OJ trial prosecuted the case against Robert, and he was sentenced to life without parole. I'm gonna add some liner, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use this LA Colors Auto Liner. I'm gonna kind of put that in my waterline, and like I said, we are gonna finish up the eyes after we're done with everything else. So after her death, the release of information by the DMV was changed, and the Driver's Privacy Protection Act was put into place. And that prevents the DMV from releasing private addresses. Like, this was enacted in 1994. So I'm gonna use the Sassy Plus Chic BB Cream. This is in light, and I just did a video that went up the other day. I will have it linked down below, where I compare New Color and Sassy Chic, both from the Dollar Tree, both look identical, the foundation and the BB creams. And I compare them just for fun because they look the same, but you know, sometimes we know things are changed, and this is a little light for me right now, but I think this is gonna be kind of a dramatic look. So I have a plan, it's okay. So Rebecca's murder also prompted the 1990 passage of America's first anti-stalking laws. It's crazy to think that prior to that, there weren't as many laws, you know what I mean? And that's just not that long ago. I know there was the whole Tracy Thurman case, and I think that was in the 80s, that kind of up until then, there was really nothing protecting spouses from like an abusive spouse, you know, like you couldn't get like a restraining order if you were married to somebody or something like that. In that Tracy Thurman case where she didn't die, but she was severely injured by her abusive husband, that kind of put some laws into place after that. But it's crazy to think that there were no stalking laws at this time. At the time of her death, she was dating director Brad Simberling, and he used her death as inspiration for the movie Moonlit Mile, which I've never seen. Comment down below if you've seen that movie. And her My Sister Sam co-stars filmed a PSA in her honor for the Center to Prevent Handgun Violence. So for my under eye circles, I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Color Corrector. This is for dark circles. I haven't been a huge fan of some of these correctors. I love the foundation from Wet n Wild Cushion, but color correctors are always just a little, I don't know, they're always a little hit and miss for my taste. Sometimes I will like them or even really love them, and then like the next time I use them I won't like them, and it's just kind of like they're all that way. It's like it really just like depends on my mood. I'm just gonna kind of put it on with my finger and then use my concealer brush. So the second person I'm gonna talk about is John Lennon. And I knew that he was killed by a fan, but I honestly didn't know a whole lot about it. So it was interesting reading about it. And of course, the information I give only barely scratches the surface. So John Lennon was killed on December 8th, 1980, and he was shot at the entrance of the Dakota, which was the apartment building that he lived in. And I didn't know, I guess for all these years, I always thought he was killed in like London or England. I had no idea it was New York. Like the Dakota is in New York. And like I said, it's just my own ignorance. That's why I enjoy picking things and reading about them, because it's interesting to me. So I am going to contour, and I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This is in Caramel Toffee. And of course, I'm just going to go in, I'm just going to use this double-ended brush. I like to use this end right here for the contour, the dark contour. I think a hairstyle like this, like when you have your hair up, contouring is like a nice thing. So Dakota is located on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and I'm sure there's always probably people going to, morbid curiosity, going to look and see where John Lennon was killed, you know what I mean? Because, that's a big moment in history, you know what I mean? That's just one of those things that, people do. So I'm sure that is like a big sight, fortunately, kind of unfortunately, but so the gentleman that killed Lennon was a fan. His name was Mark David Chapman, and he had traveled all the way from Hawaii to commit this crime. Okay, before I do the light contour, I'm going to go ahead and move on with the other face products. We'll come back to that. I'm going to go in with this LA Colors bronzer. This is in Working Gal. So Mark had said that he killed Lennon mainly because he was kind of angered by some of the statements that John Lennon had said, like one being that the Beatles were like bigger than God or something like that. It made him really angry. And also some song lyrics that were in some of his songs. And apparently he was also inspired by the book, which I've never read, but he was inspired by the book, The Catcher in the Rye. So I'm gonna do some cream blush, and I've used this a couple times. It's the LA Colors blush sticks. This is in Flushed, and I really do like this. So the character in that book that inspired him was named Holden Caulfield. So earlier in the day, on December 8th, the day that Lennon was killed, he actually met John Lennon, and John Lennon had signed his copy of the album Double Fantasy. Powder, I'm going to use my Believe Beauty. I haven't used this in a while. It's the Matte Blur Loose Powder. This is in light medium. So Lennon and Yoko Ono had left for a recording session, and upon returning to their apartment, Lennon was shot 5 times by Mark right at the entrance to the apartment. There was like an archway, and he was shot right in there 5 times, 4 of which of those shots hit him in the back. And when authorities got to the scene, Mark was just sitting over on the side reading Catcher in the Rye, which is just calm and creepy and crazy. So he was arrested right there while reading his book, and Lennon was pronounced dead on arrival at Roosevelt Hospital. So Chapman got 20 years to life, and he became eligible for parole in the year 2000, and he has been denied parole 11 times since then. So I'm going to put on some highlighter. This is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Prismatic Highlighter. It's an iridescent pearl powder. This is what the packaging looks like. This is from a Dollar Tree haul. I've only ever swatched this. I have not actually used it yet. So we're going to give it a chance today. It's pearlescent, kind of pearlescent, has a little bit of a pink sheen to it. So we're going to try it today. I think today is the look to try it. So I think it was Yoko Ono, of course, his widow, who requested that in lieu of a funeral, there be 10 minutes of silence around the world. And I'm not going to put it up because it is a little bit risque, I guess you could say. But there is that famous photo of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. It was the Annie Leibovitz photo where he's nude and he's kind of up against Yoko Ono. I had heard this before, but I had forgotten it until I was kind of reading up a little bit. That was taken on the day that he died, which is just crazy, eerie, interesting, all of that. But you know the picture I'm talking about. If not, then Google it. So I'm going to finish my contour by going in. I'm going to take the other end of that brush. So now we're going to finish up the eyes, and I'm going to go into and it is a mess on the outside, my goodness. My Copacetic Cosmetics Companion Palette, and this one never shows up. I think I might be able to get it. I'm going to go into this light green shade here, and I might even go into this kind of more whitish shade, but it's got a green tinge to it. Those two shades are Lexi and Jessica. Go figure. So I think I'm going to put this one on top a little bit more toward the inside and then the other one on the inner corner. So the last person I want to talk about is singer Christina Grimmie, and it's the most recent one. So she was killed on June 10th, 2016 in Orlando. And Christina actually got her start on YouTube back in 2009. And she started out with the YouTube name Zelda X Love 64. Apparently she was a huge Zelda fan. And she started her YouTube channel just the way a lot of us do. And as a singer, I sure wish this was around when I was a teenager, because I'd have been all up in it and everything at the time. But she started a YouTube channel because she wanted to connect with people through her music. So at the time she did lots of covers. She must have been obviously a Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus fan, because she did a lot of covers by Miley Cyrus / Hannah Montana. And she gained recognition for her voice and her personality and her interpretation of the songs. So apparently she started getting homeschooled her junior year of high school. That was in 2010. And around that time she covered a song with fellow YouTuber, and I might get this name wrong, Sam Tsui? I'll have it written down below. TSUI. Of course, the video just got a whole bunch of views. So of course her popularity grew. I don't know if they still do this, but they had a My YouTube competition and she came in second to Selena Gomez. So in 2011, she was kind of discovered by Selena's parents and they became her management. Well, it was, I guess, Selena's mom and her husband, so Selena's stepdad, and they became her manager. So now I'm gonna go in with that shade with the same namesake as me. I think I'm gonna use a smaller brush for this. Yes, I'm gonna use a smaller brush. So in 2014, she was on season 6 of The Voice, and I believe she got 3rd, and she sang Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. Apparently all 4 judges turned their chairs, and she ended up ultimately choosing Adam Levine for her coach. So on the evening of June 10th, she was performing in Orlando with the band Before You Exit, which I don't think I've ever heard of. And apparently earlier in the day, she got on her YouTube channel and kind of gave a shout out and asked people to attend her concert later that night in Orlando. So her performance ended at 10, and she was in the meet and greet line, and she went to hug a gentleman by the name of Kevin James Loibel, I think is how you pronounce, I guess is how you pronounce his name. She reached out to hug him, and he shot her. He shot her 4 times. Her brother, who was standing by her, tackled him, and they got into a little bit of a tussle. Kevin James stood up against the wall and shot himself in the head. Apparently that was not the original plan. Authorities believe that he was actually intending to go back to where he came from after it was all done. According to what they found at his hotel room, they don't think he had any plans of killing himself. So she was pronounced dead by 11 o'clock at Orlando Regional Medical Center. I'm just gonna do a little bit of color under the eyes. I think I'm gonna do like that brighter purple, kind of finish off this eye look, and then do lips. Yeah, I'm gonna go into that brighter purple called Sadie. They had security there, but they were not checking bags. There were no metal detectors. It was said by some people that were there that they were more concerned, like the security was more concerned with people bringing food into the venue versus making sure people are safe. And apparently this gentleman had no history of mental illness and had no violent history, although he had some run-ins with the law. Apparently they weren't violent incidences. Okay, so now we're gonna finish with the lips, and I've got this. It was in a recent Dollar Tree haul. It's the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick. This is in Goth Topic. It is a rich, rich shade. Has like a little doe foot and all that good stuff. And I'm kind of feeling it for this eye look. So I'm gonna just go ahead and line my lips in black liner. I'm just gonna go in with this LA Colors liner, and I'm just gonna go with it. So, fortunately with all 3 of these celebrities that were so tragically killed, one silver lining, especially in these 3 specific cases, is that none of them died in vain. There were some good things done after their death that, made our world stronger and hopefully helped prevent it from happening to someone else, or at least lessen the likelihood, with just some laws and things put in place. So none of them were in vain, although they are just so incredibly tragic. So I'm gonna go in with this, and this is, wow, that's really, really rich. In person, it like literally looks black, but I'm looking at my monitor here and it looks a lot more cranberry on camera. It applies really rich. Like, I'm feeling it, but I'm gonna add some glitter. I'm feeling it. Of course, you don't have to do this. I'm just gonna be extra, and I'm just gonna go in with this like iridescent glitter and be a little bit extra. I'm not gonna do a whole lot, just like a little pop. I recently did a glitter lips tutorial, and I'm kind of just going really quick with it, but I explained really you can use any colors of anything that you want. And this color is really kind of interesting because it's kind of picking up the green and the purple a little bit from the eye look. And I kind of got it concentrated towards the center. So I'm feeling it. It's a bit much, but I'm feeling it. So I hope you enjoyed another Makeup and Celebrity Sunday. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, show me you did by hitting that like button. I will have my Makeup and Celebrity Sunday playlist linked down below, along with any videos that I mentioned. So definitely check those out and binge watch some of those. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.